now. I have audio now and should be good to go. Anyway, welcome to the Forged Trader. I'm Gates Adams. Where successful traders aren't born, they are forged. We are going to be talking about trading today. Trading involves risk. Please make sure you know what you're doing before you do it. Okay. Fucking A. Yeah. All right. So let's talk a little bit briefly about the day. One trade, two accounts, up 339.34 on each account. This puts me a little bit past the halfway mark on each. One's to 25,868 and change. One's 25,790 and change. So 2 days of trading, progressively moving closer towards that target. That's great. That's all well and good. But yesterday, I made a commitment to my coach, and then I talked about it on my live. So let me take a step back. Yeah, I'm a coach. I coach traders. I coach traders who are way better traders than me because I'm not a trading coach. I'm a mindset coach. I just work with traders. And so I think a lot of times people want to know if, you see somebody online, they're talking, they're doing whatever. They're doing shit like this, right? And you want to know, do you practice what you preach? Do you drink your own Kool-Aid or whatever verbiage you like? So let me reference. So yesterday, I've mentioned I have multiple coaches. I have business coach. I have a podcast coach. I have a trading coach. I mean, I've got my more than my fair share of coaches, right? And I was on a call with one of my coaches yesterday, and got down to brass tacks. What can I do immediately that would impact my trading? Not spend a few more sessions with my trading coach and talk through some of the good, the bad, and the ugly of what I've executed. Yes, all of that's important and helpful and meaningful. It's why I have a trading coach. But that's not the biggest action that I could take personally that would impact my trading. So what it boiled down to was my answer ultimately was, I really need to start journaling my trading. I need to defend my entries, because when I think about the days that I blow it, I'm still working through a lot of that shit, right? So on the days that I blow it, can I defend my trades? Well, no, because I might be able to defend the first trade if it went against me. I mean, it may not have been a great entry, but at least I could kind of go through the logic behind it, right? Whereas, and then from there it just sort of devolves into hitting buttons and hoping, praying, whatever, just seeing if perhaps you might have gotten lucky enough to have the trade go in the right direction. But of course, usually what ends up happening is you go to one extreme, you're way down and you hit the reverse button. And of course, that's the pullback. And then you go to the other extreme and you hit the reverse button and you're just losing at every friggin' leg of this thing, right? So the reason that this was an important key factor for me is that I know when I'm losing it. There was a conscious moment where I'm like, I really shouldn't be doing this, but I'm going to fucking do it anyway, right? And I know that there is no accountability for that. I mean, I'm going to go on here and I'm going to express the fact that I blew my accounts again. It might take a couple of days, but some days and some weeks are just more challenging than others, right? So, you go through, you do the process, you refresh, you recalibrate, reevaluate, figure out where you really need to be in terms of what needs to be a proper entry for you. My commitment was to start journaling and defending my trades, right? So today I took one trade, and do I drink my own Kool-Aid? Here's my journal, right? Okay. So, I mean, this is the detail level that I went into. So it was MNQ, 2 accounts. Basically, it was 4 micros, basically 2 entries, 1 target and then 1 trailer. So the entry was at 18,690 and a quarter, stopped, set my stop at 18,677, which was 53 ticks, $212 worth of risk. There was, I love running into these technical difficulties because I know they're my own fault, but I was only supposed to be in two micros, but I ended up in 4. So, okay, whatever. First take profit was going to be 83 ticks up at 18,711. That was basically just under the recent high. And then my trailing, my final exit was at 18,754.75, 258 ticks up, which netted me on the two remaining micro contracts. That was 258. So my net profit was 339.34 in each account after commissions, right? So in terms of defending it, and I kind of went backwards here. I'm I'm getting into the habit of this. So the big picture was that the daily, the 4 hour, and the 1 hour, they were all bullish, right? My expectation was that yesterday's high, which actually was an all-time high on NQ, was going to be a draw on liquidity. There was a pre-market range right before it took a nosedive this morning. And so my expectation, and then there was a fair value. So basically it shot down. There was a huge fair value gap. At the top of the fair value gap was this morning range. I figured that this would serve as some resistance. I did and do still think that there's a decent enough chance that it may go further beyond that, closer towards that daily high or all-time high from yesterday. But because I figured that range would provide some resistance, especially at the end of that fair value gap, that to me was where I really wanted to target exiting my trade, right? So what I saw in terms of an entry, this is my entry notes. There was an unmitigated demand zone from the 1 hour based on yesterday, 8 a.m. bar. This morning on the 15-minute chart, reached it on the 9:15 bar. So I went down to the 1 minute bar, created a new demand zone at 9:30, and then the market came back around at 9:45 and retested it. That triggered my entry. Target 1 set at the recent high, which was the high of that swing between 9:30 and 9:45. And target 2 was set past the fair value gap. Past the fair value gap at that range that basically we sat through in pre-market. So the idea was trail the stop. I trailed the stop, got up there. Let it go as high as it was going to go. It started to pull back. I had my stop very, very tight at that point. It came back a little bit, triggered my exit, and boom, up 339.34. Now, I had only been up half as much if I'd done the entry that I intended to. I probably would have gone ahead based on the time, left it at that point because expectation tells us it's jumping right back into a little bit of a range. It looks like it's starting to pull back a little bit. But I don't know that we're going to see the type of movement that we saw at the first part of the market that's going to give me an opportunity like I saw. So anyway, I risked more than I intended to. I ended up gaining more than I intended to. That side of it was luck, but here's my entry. This is my defense of it. This was my commitment yesterday. This is what I'm going to do. Now, I'll probably turn this into basically a spreadsheet and something where I'm going to actually type out my response, just to save me a little bit of time. But for now, this is a very visceral way for me to do this, and so it sticks a little better to me when I handwrite stuff out. I'm not going to do this every day. I might, I don't know, but I'll do it for a little while as things start to sort of stabilize and I start to see some consistent patterns in terms of not just my entries, exits, and results, but in terms of my managing my mindset as I go through this process. I'll probably start to type it up just so that it's all in a file and easily accessible and searchable and all that kind of good stuff. Anyway, so do I practice what I preach? 100%. And the thing is that I don't always see it myself. Look, journaling my trades has been on my list of things to do for months. I know it's something that I needed to do, but it really took kind of getting that little bit of a kick in the ass to say, hey, what is it that you know you need to do that you're not doing? Well, boom, there it is. All right, I'm on a path now. So that's where I stand for today. I appreciate you guys. Thanks for hanging out with me. Do not forget to check out the Forge Trader podcast on iTunes and Spotify. It's been a lot of fun. 6 episodes there. New episode launching on Thursday. So come up, we'll have 7 episodes. God almighty, it's been one of those days. Episode 7 coming out on Thursday. Check that out. Give me some feedback. Let me know what you guys think. Leave some reviews on there. Let the platforms know what you think as well. And I appreciate you hanging out with me today. I appreciate you guys. I love y'all. God bless. Have a wonderful rest of your Tuesday.